Podcast Live, where you get your favorite hot topics from a Christian perspective. Starring National Gospel Recording Artist, Pastor Ron Todd, the lovely Mel Phillips, everyone's favorite aunt, Penny Ellis, and the swag-tastic Josh Jad. This show is dedicated to our beloved C. Ashley Brown Lawrence. Buckle up, you're in for a ride.
Hey, welcome to the Pew. What's up, Mel?
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing so good. How about you?
Good.
You giving $1 million again?
I be trying. I ain't try hard tonight because I'm a little sleepy, but
You know what? I am too. It's like today.
We know the weather about to change.
Yes, and today was just one of those days. I'm like, oh Lord,
Yeah.
we pushing. All right, my mom's the first one on. Would you look at that? She says, "Hello, Pew Crew." Hello.
Hey.
There's Lady Mary. She says, "Good evening, Pew Crew. Pew Crew. Looking forward to a great show." All right,
Hey, Lady Mary.
y'all come on in. As you're coming, make sure you hit the share button. Let's let some other folks know that we are on. Kevin Moore, my New York brother, says, "Hey, Pew Crew. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, Kevin."
Kevin.
Pastor Darlene Bell, she says, "Praise the Lord, Pastor Ron Todd and Pew Crew. Good God continue to bless you all richly." Likewise, Pastor Darlene, so good to see you tonight. Y'all come on in. We got a good one today. It's so much. I'm like, Lord, we're gonna be able to get all this in tonight.
We will.
We gonna get it all in.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't tell you how ecstatic I am that we're gonna get it in with Auntie Penny. Listen, Auntie Penny got so much going on and she still made it. Look at God.
Okay, Glamaholic. I like it.
Yes. You on mute, Auntie.
Hey guys.
Hey. I'm loving that shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing like a little print, little leopard print. I like that.
All right. Look, I came on, Mel's all beat. I ain't got no beat. I ain't got nothing today. Y'all getting snatched back and plain face.
This is like beat. I did just a little bit of powder, some lip gloss, and a little bit of mascara real quick.
I tell you, you guys are natural beauties anyway, so you don't need a whole lot.
You're so
Oh,
sweet.
I appreciate that.
Pastor Greg says, "Bless you, Pew Crew." Bless you, Pastor Greg.
Pastor
Hey,
Greg.
Pastor G.
Kevin saying, "Hey."
Hey, Kev, what's going on the East Coast?
Other than them rats running around.
Oh, child.
Christina says, "Hey, Pew Crew." Hey, Christina. You know what? Can we just say how much we appreciate our loyal viewers?
Yeah.
Like when y'all think about it, there's so many programs, so much content, and the fact that
they could be doing.
Watch us every week, that means a lot.
That does.
And I'm so glad that we are entertaining y'all. Thank you so much for watching us. Just watch us just being ourselves.
Correct.
We appreciate y'all. The Rat Capital. Do you hear me? I was talking to a New Yorker the other day, and I'm like, I really want to go visit New York because I have friends in New York that are really, really amazing people. But they even tell me that there is a major rat issue. And I'm not into rats. My mother is on, and she can tell you, I recently had a run-in with a mouse somewhere, and I couldn't stay. So it wasn't at her house or nothing like that, but she just knows the story. And so I don't know what I would do if I'm walking down the street and a rat as big as a cat is walking next to me.
Keep walking.
Right.
I mean, yeah, or you gonna climb the building and then, but the rats can climb too. Just
They
be
can climb. They can do everything with them long, nasty tails.
Right.
And he ran out from the mouse. I sure did.
well, I mean,
Uh,
what did you think the mouse was gonna do to you?
I don't know. It's nasty. The mouse is nasty. Missionary Wood says, "Hey, my favorite pastor and Pew crew. God bless y'all. God bless you.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here." Guys, once again, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and hit the share button. Let somebody know that we're on. We don't want anybody to miss the show tonight because it's going to be so good. So good tonight. So let's start at the top. Mel, what you got going on?
Working. Wait, they did a free giveaway at the gym today, so I didn't even work out. I just went and got a free T-shirt, a water bottle,
Ah,
snacks, ate some of their candy, and I went on home.
I know that's right. Well, Mel, how do you keep your hair silked out when you work out?
You know, I don't sweat in my head, so I just put it in a bun on the top of my head, and I'm fine.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a blessing. Because most folks have to get them some good old braids while they working out.
You know, I love some braids. I'm just a little tired of them now. But yeah, just I put it in the bun at the top of my head. You got to find whatever works.
But I will tell you, you and Auntie Penny, you can rock some braids, but you guys both have a beautiful head of hair. And it looks so good when it's down.
Thank you.
I was looking at a picture of Auntie Penny the other day. I'm not sure, you were at an event or something, and that hair was parted down the middle, and it was down, and it was just flowing so pretty. I said, look at that hair. You know, and me and we love a full head of pretty hair. So yeah.
That's what y'all say. We don't know what y'all love.
Yeah. You caught me on a good night then. I think I had my beat on and everything, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You look good.
I had to take the old girls, my sisters.
Yes, to their
my one
reunion.
sister to her 50th reunion. Now it was this sister, Teresa's 50th class reunion. She's been out of high school 50 years, child.
Oh my gosh.
That's a blessing.
And don't even look
So,
50.
Yep. It was Mumford High School class of 74, their 50th class reunion.
And I was back, and for the Auntie Teresa is still in her pumps. Listen, she looks good.
Okay. Yeah.
In good shape. I mean, just go ahead, Auntie. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. So you guys, like I said, this show is gonna be so super huge. And listen, the show is so huge that we could not do it without Josh. Couldn't do it.
Hey, Josh, what's happening?
Not much. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
Same old stuff, just a different day.
Right. Same old soup warmed over, right?
I gotta use that.
That's the truth.
Well, Auntie, what you got going on?
Nothing, just working. Preparing for a sort of a big day at work tomorrow, but other than that, just working, still trying to eat better, do better, get healthier, right? Yeah, and that's it. That's it. Just life over here, just be lifing with the juveniles that think they're the young adults, but they still
They little G's. I call them little G.
Yeah, they
ain't big G yet.
Right.
Because big G, they completely take care of themselves.
They little G's. Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, everything is good. Just waiting on fall weather. I'm loving the weather we have.
Yeah,
but,
it's not bad. It's comfortable. It's comfortable weather.
Yeah, it is.
It can be tricky though, because our mornings and late nights can be cooler. So it's like the time where you have to keep a jacket or keep a sweater by you just in case, so you don't get caught.
Right.
Chilly.
Right. Yep. And some parts of the building at work are hot, and I take my jacket off, and then I go into another part of the building. It's freezing, and I gotta run back to my office, grab my jacket. It's crazy, but yeah, it's all good though.
Kevin talking about Josh fashionably late but present. He made it. I'll take
We'll take him anyway.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I I was like 2 minutes late.
Right.
A little more than two.
Bro, no.
It's
I
a
was
little
2
more than
minutes late.
two.
Right. Auntie was 2 minutes late. Hey, Steph.
Stephanie, hey.
What was I about to say though? You guys, she says, I'm here. Yes, you are. We're so glad. And listen, if you guys are in the Pontiac, Michigan area and you're a stylist or a barber, Stephanie is looking for new stylists and new barbers. So you see her name there. Just inbox her on Facebook if you're interested. If you're in the Pontiac, Michigan, maybe you're just in Oakland County and you don't mind driving to Pontiac. Hit her up if you are a stylist or a barber, licensed preferably. Hit her up and yeah, and you might have a station. So
Okay.
with Miss Stephanie, she goes by Renee White on Facebook. So hit her up, please, ma'am, please, sir. She would love to have you. Kevin says, I love it. I went out to the store last night and I felt a little chill. Yeah, just a little chill, but it's good. It's good. I'll take it. I'd rather have just a little chill than like 98 and burning up.
Yes.
So guys, I got to tell you, this past Sunday, I went to the reunion tour 2.0. And let me tell you,
Wow.
it was amazing. Like so amazing that I'm going to probably go in a different city to see it again. As the old folks used to say, again. I need to see,
Again.
yeah, I need to see it again. It's so good. And I was, you know, first of all, that Kiera Sheard Kelly opened the show. And you know, she's a special one. Because that key you sang now. Did you hear me? The girl sang down. And it was so funny because Jordan, her husband, and Bishop Sheard were sitting right in front of me. And to see the look on Bishop Sheard's face when she came out, it was the most heartwarming thing. It was like she was still a little girl. And she came out and it was so electric. Her intro was so electrifying. And she had this big, it reminded me of Missy Elliott in the I Can't Stand the Rain video. She had this big bubble thing on, but it was just, you know, bump, 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 bump. And like all of a sudden in big lights, you saw Kiera and his face just lit up. It was so heartwarming to watch his reaction. And Jordan had Chloe Drew and she was holding her up and she's looking at her mom. And it was so cool. But she sang down. She danced down. Listen, who said full figure women cannot dance? Kiera danced, good choreography at that show. And she preached down. She sang, she danced, she preached. She shouted us down. We bumped, we put a praise on it. We did everything. I mean, and she went back to You Don't Know, her very first single. She did a little piece of what she did with Mary, It's the God in Me. She did put a listen, she was phenomenal. And then it just kept going higher. Kurt Franklin always, you know, he's so energetic. And Kurt Franklin has sing-alongs. Everybody knows Kurt Franklin's songs back from the family to present. So he can do no wrong. So it was great. When those Clark sisters came out, when I saw Dorinda hit the stage, I screamed until I lost my voice. I screamed. She was so sharp. She was sharp as a tack. Do you hear me? Those ladies look amazing because you know they're senior citizens. I say that very respectfully and with honor, but they looked fantastic and they sang down. Yolanda Adams looked fantastic and sang down. Fred Hammond, oh my gosh, sang some of the songs. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Some of the songs that we just love. He did. Are you ready for? I mean. All the jams, he did them all. Then brought Marcus Cole, brought Keith Staten. They have a new group. They sang together.
Oh, yeah.
Tight. It was crazy. They were so good. But let me tell you something. That Marvin Sapp rocked that arena. Do you hear me? And shout out to Detroit. It was a good 40, 50,000 strong. That whole arena from bottom to top. It was a sold out show at Little Caesars Arena. Beyonce does that. So for those gospel legends to pack and Kiera to pack that arena out like that, I thought it was worth me sharing. It was amazing. So Don't be surprised if y'all hear in a few weeks that I flew somewhere and saw it again.
To say it again.
So let
It's
me ask you a
so
question though.
good.
So just thinking, if there was anybody else that you could add to the ticket, would you add anybody else?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's funny
Yeah,
because it's like I would love to see
that would
uh
just blend in and be another caveat to it, you know?
I like Ty Tribbett was on the last one and I really enjoyed him.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
would love to
The
have
last
him
one I
back.
enjoyed.
Yeah. Um it's so many. I don't want to get the naming names. It's so many people I would love to
Okay.
see on there. But from a business perspective, Kirk is getting the right ones, because
hmm
to fill arenas, you have to be at a certain status of notoriety. And that's nothing against none of my friends and my peers in this business, but you know,
Well, that's true.
it's just you got to be a box office draw. And in order to be a
hmm
box office draw, you have to be someone who's well known and are a crossover. When the Clark sisters made You Brought the Sunshine, they were played in the clubs.
Okay.
Everybody, the mainstream celebrities respect and call on the Clark sisters. They're on the Grammys. They are Grammy Award winners. So when you get to that level, you can sell out an arena. Kirk Franklin can sell out. Yolanda Adams. So you think of people maybe like a Donnie McClurkin, who's
hmm
at level who could sell out an arena, I would say, at this point in his career. And a few other, of the legends that are
Right.
still relevant. But other than that, it's pretty tough,
Okay.
because it's not like selling out a 5,000 seater church. This is a arena.
hmm
So, but yeah, Pastor Greg says, "How was Kurt?" He was amazing. He was amazing. He danced and gyrated. I don't know how he do. He was great. He was
Right. You got to show.
Not
yeah.
gyrate.
Oh, yeah, he did the fool, but he was very entertaining. I would love to see Hezekiah Walker. I would too. Hezekiah Walker's
hmm
another. I
hmm
would love to see Ricky Dillard. Um,
hmm
Again, some
Well,
of
you
the
know, Ricky Diller's always gonna give you a show, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
baby,
oh yeah.
you're gonna get matrix moves and everything, right?
And I'm praying that they continue to do it. Like, this is the second one. Maybe
Correct.
they'll do three and out, and they will bring. I do know it's probably tough bringing a Ricky or Hezekiah Walker if they want to bring their choirs because that's a
Choirs.
lot of people.
Correct. Correct.
I
You're
just
right.
think like a businessman, that's a
That's
lot of
true.
people to have
That's
to
true
pay.
because they're not solo
Whereas
artists,
now
right?
he has a nice group that kind of backs up everybody. Um,
hmm
so it may just be Ricky and no new G, but Ricky's whole thing is, part of it is his directing.
Oh, that's all of it.
So
Yeah.
that's what makes it tough when you think about a world tour. So
Correct.
yes, sold out show. And I know Cincinnati was
That's
sold out as
awesome.
well. So God bless them. I pray they continue to sell out shows. I mean, if we can go see Beyonce, who I love, and everybody else, let's support the legends within our genre, which is the gospel music. Missionary said, I can't take Kirk's dancing. I guess I'm old school.
I understand,
Listen,
missionary. I
they was
understand.
doing
I
everything.
understand.
They
Baby,
underdog.
I understand. All that gyrating, that is not the spirit.
Listen, them women was in there hollering and screaming, and he shook even more. And he knew every dance move, every Molly,
Right.
every he knew the new
Well,
one. He knew it
yeah.
all.
Well, and he has to do that, right? Because he's not a singer, so he has to entertain.
Exactly. And have
hmm
very, very skilled singers on that stage singing his songs. And they were.
hmm
They really,
hmm
really. All right,
Yeah.
guys, we gotta move. Of course, we want to shout out our angel. We must, Miss
Yes.
Brown Lawrence, who was the very first co-host, casted to the show, went on to be with the Lord 14 months ago, and we love her and appreciate her and will never forget her. Guys, make sure you go download her latest single, the Old School Medley, and it will bless you. If you missed it, go check out our show from last week. We played it for you, and we'll continue to do that every now and then here on the show. Also, don't forget to get my latest single, I Can Get a Prayer Through, still impacting radio across the country. Make sure you guys grab that. All right, we got to move because we got a lot of hot topics to cover tonight.
Messy,
Lord have mercy.
messy, messy.
Ooh. All right. Well, before we get there, let's go over to Christina Bell, that singing Christina Bell, who's lost 187 pounds. Let's check her out. She's talking about how you got to hold on. I love you, Christina. Here she is.
There are some days when the dark clouds rain with pain, but yet and still I'm still holding on. Yeah, Lord. Listen. Sometimes the road gets rough. That's when heaven says you can't give up. I'm still, oh Lord, I'm still holding on. Ooh, yeah. I felt heartache and pain, but my God came through. Yes, over and over again. I remember the time the Lord came through and gave me peace of mind. Yes, He did. I decided a long time ago that if Jesus goes with me, there's no place I won't go. I'm still holding on. Along the way, but I'm gonna keep on holding on. Come what may, come what may. I remember the time when I almost gave up, y'all. Yeah, almost threw in the towel. And God wrapped His arms around me, and He wrapped me and held me, and I went through
Ooh,
Beautiful.
that's Christina Bell with her singing self with Holding On.
I like it.
I love that song there. All right, guys. We know what time it is. Mel, tell us.
Time for hot topic.
Let's go. All right. Usually I would have saved this to the end, but you know what? Let's deal with this elephant that's in the room. Because Mr. P. Diddy has been indicted on several charges. Let's take a look. We'll go over to MSNBC.
Joining me now is former prosecutor and MSNBC legal analyst Kristen Gibbons-Fedden. She famously helped prosecute the case against Bill Cosby. MSNBC legal analyst and former prosecutor Christy Greenberg prosecuted sex crimes as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. And NBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin is with me here on set. Let's talk about the charges, and I think related to the depth of them is that we just learned the defense is proposing a $50 million bond in an attempt to get their client released.
Well, I think the fact that they're proposing a $50 million bond speaks to how serious the charges against Sean Combs are. So let's go through them from top to bottom. The first is a racketeering conspiracy charge. And I'm sure when some of our viewers hear that, their eyes glaze over. But essentially what that means is that Sean Combs built an enterprise consisting of his businesses, but also of personal employees and people loyal to him to help him basically accomplish these sex crimes with which he has been charged. And not only did they help him accomplish these sex crimes, they did a bunch of other criming with him, according to prosecutors, in order to cover it up or to keep his victims silent. He's also been charged, Chris, with sex trafficking under force or coercion or transportation with the intent to engage in prostitution. And critical to the allegations are the severity of the violence alleged: use of guns, forced drugging, arson, and kidnapping, all alleged and suffused throughout not only this indictment, but the detention letter that prosecutors sent to the judge today, where they outline in 16 pages why Sean Combs should not be released from federal custody prior to his trial. That's why you see Sean Combs and his lawyers saying, hey, we'll put up a $50 million bond package consisting of a $48 million home that I own outright and other things.
So, Kristen, I want to play some of what we heard earlier from prosecutors.
This office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
So to me, honestly, Kristen, that sounds pretty straightforward. But then I read the indictment. And the level of depravity that's just alleged there, that's described there, it's certainly nothing I've ever seen, but you have the experience. Put it into context for us.
Yeah, so what happens is, and I think one of the things that's interesting, Chris, and he was actually asked this at the press conference about, okay, if you have this indictment that outlines this depravity, how is it that just a year prior you give him the key? How is it that we didn't know that any of this was going on? And one of the things that I think is really important is that throughout the pre-detention letter that Lisa was alluding to, they talked to, I think they said they gave around 300 grand jury subpoenas, spoke to around 50 victims and witnesses who are able to really substantiate or corroborate one another with the allegations that are set forth in this indictment. So I think one of the things is, well, then how did this go on so long? But you have to remember that sexual assault, particularly when it's against someone as powerful as Puff Daddy, particularly when you have the facilitation of some type of intoxicants, you're talking about ketamine and all of those drug-fueled parties, and then you go up against someone whose reputation is such that he was awarded the key to the city, you have a very large power imbalance, which further levels onto that coercion and further forces victims to be silenced. So that level of depravity, even though it's so horrific, can really cause it to be silenced when you have someone as powerful as Puff Daddy.
Yeah, Christy, to be honest with you, again, when I read through it, it was like, how did this go on for so long, again, allegedly? And no one spoke up, or, I mean, there have been other cases in the past related to him, but let me ask you what you, as someone who has prosecuted sex crimes at the SDNY, what stands out to you in the indictment?
So one thing I would say in prosecuting sex trafficking cases, oftentimes they are undetected for decades, like this one. I unfortunately have prosecuted sex trafficking cases that have gone on for decades. And a lot of the reasons why the victims don't say anything earlier are, even when the facts are different across cases, the ultimate reasons tend to be the same, because these traffickers know that they can instill a culture of fear. And that culture of fear really prevents them from speaking up. Here you had force, you had violence, you had U.S. Attorney Damian Williams saying that these victims felt they could not leave because their own security was at risk if they did. And there is actual video evidence of that when one of the victims was trying to leave a hotel room, trying to leave one of those freak-offs. And what happened? Sean Combs violently beat her. That is on tape. So to the extent any juror, any member of the public questions, well, why didn't she leave? You can see the evidence of why she didn't leave sooner. It's right there on tape. I will say that in terms of looking at this indictment and looking at the detention letter that was submitted by the prosecutors here, this is among the strongest sex trafficking cases I have seen, because you have the conduct on tape. These freak-offs are on tape, found in videos, in Sean Combs' own personal devices. You have recorded calls where he is then trying to have them and engage in a false narrative to conceal his the evidence of the crime once it was determined that the law enforcement officials were looking into this. That evidence is damning. In addition to having the victims coming forward and corroborating one another's accounts, the fact that you have video evidence they can see and hear Mr. Combs threatening and hurting victims, I mean, this case really seems incredibly strong.
So given that, given the details, given the strength of the case that the prosecutors say they have, Lisa, what will the judge consider if they offer this $50 million so he can be free while this case is going to trial?
Well, you know, as Christy and Kristen know well, the dangerousness of the individual to the community, as well as the likelihood that they will and have the capacity to flee, are two factors that a judge considers. One of the things that Sean Combs' lawyers have told the judge is acknowledging that he owns a plane. They say that there's a letter of intent to sell that plane, and as part of that, he won't take the plane right now. But where you have a defendant who owns private aviation, the capacity to flee is there. The other thing is that the dangerousness of Sean Combs should not be underscored. In addition to the allegations of literally hitting, dragging, kicking his victims, I'm reading from the detention letter now. There's an incident where he and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking and entering into the residence of another. Approximately 2 weeks later, according to prosecutors, co-conspirators then set fire to that individual's vehicle, and that multiple witnesses would testify to the defendant, meaning Sean Combs, bragging about his role in destroying individual one's car. This is not a white-collar defendant who has committed alleged securities fraud. This is a person who is a danger to the community and a danger to women, according to the Southern District of New York, Chris.
So we have less than a minute, but let me ask you, Kristen, what happens today? What happens next?
So today the judge will most likely determine whether or not he will detain Puff Daddy or whether he will allow him to remain on the streets, as we say, with certain bail conditions intact. He's either going to put him right to jail or he's going to say, hey, you got to sell that plane. You've got to surrender your passport. There may be certain things in place, such as electronic monitoring or anything along those lines. But I think that there is a strong case for him to be detained throughout the pendency of these criminal proceedings.
And we will have our crew write what you see on your screen, where you see on your screen outside that courthouse at 2:30 when it's all set to begin. Kristen Gibbons-Fetting, Christy Greenberg, Lisa Rubin, thank you all.
So sad. Shall we go to the comments?
It's really sad.
They're getting rid of anyone young black children can look up to. I don't know if it's true, but they destroyed Bill Cosby.
Well, I mean, Bill Cosby played a part in his destruction.
Very true. This is so sad. Bishop Todd said, well, I don't know if he's guilty or not, but every black billionaire, they come up with charges. Yet a person can still run for president. Something ain't right. Now, that's very true. Because if you indicted on all them charges, you shouldn't be able to run for president for sure. Adrian said, Bishop Celestine Todd, that part, and we have his date continually moved back. Right. Wow. And he had over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and KY jelly in his crib. Shake my head. Now, that is true. He had all that KY jelly.
Well,
1,000 bottles. And Adrian says, No, they showed that evidence. That KY was in there. He had all that KY jelly. Adrian said, all I can say is the amount of baby oil, woo, slipping and sliding. Okay, Adrian.
Adrian.
Bishop Todd, well, we know that Trump has a special privilege beyond average, white privilege. A black man will never be able to get away with what Trump has done. But I don't know, at least some of this is true, and it's sad because of the status he has. He's a music mogul, absolutely. Bishop said, I agree with you. Wow, he's hit. Absolutely. So sad. And all this is taking place in Manhattan, where last year, this time, he was given a key to the city.
A key to the city. Mm-hmm. Let me ask y'all this.
What?
Is that your mom? Maybe he likes to that explain.
Maybe he likes to have sex a lot, which explains the KY jelly. Well, okay. Most men having sex with women don't usually need that much KY jelly.
Not 1,000 bottles.
So I don't think that was for that. But I digress. Go ahead, Mel.
Not 1,000 bottles.
Bishop Todd that threw me for a loop. Okay. With everything that went on with the Me Too movement, do you think that if he had any type of warning, like, let me stop this right now, let me just stop this type of behavior?
It sounds like it was too late, because remember, they got phone calls, which is so stupid. The government listens to everything. So he's got calls trying to cover up the crimes, and they have all of that information as well. So I think at the time where he tried to do that, it was just too late.
It was too late.
That was a pandemic by Bishop. Good night, Adrian.
Not 1,000. And I know that it's somebody very close to him that had to be an informant for the government. So that'll probably all come out during the trial. Somebody told on him because they knew exactly where to go and what to get and how to get it.
Yeah.
And it's something that no matter what, right, you cannot just stop. He has, without sounding accusatory, but that's a spirit.
I agree.
You know, and it's like being addicted, you know, and you're so far into it. And you
attacking folks.
Cut that off. You know, and when you've gotten away with it for so long.
But do you really get away? I mean, we think we get away.
No,
but,
I mean, everything comes out, right? So even though you see the Me Too movement, and you see all this going around, I mean, I'm sure there's been plenty of other people that have wanted to go and haven't. I'm sure he's written plenty of payoff checks in the past.
Oh gosh,
yes. When you've gotten away with things for so long that you just keep doing it, right? It's like us as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Until you get that big busted, till you get to the point where now he's at the point of no return.
Yeah.
What was shocking to me was the violence. Other than him dragging Cassie, like we saw that with our own eyes. He drugged that girl. She was trying to get away. He drugged her. He kicked her. He was just in a rage.
But when you have that, but when you become in a position of power and money, you begin to think that you're untouchable. I mean, we got a man that's running for office that also thinks he's untouchable.
Correct.
Due to money and power.
Yeah. Kevin Moore says he might have been having sex parties involving sex with men and women, men and men, and women and women. That will require a lot of KY jelly.
Okay. Not 1,000 bottles.
Well, depending on how big the party was.
Kind of party. That's right.
Christina's
that's massive. That's
crazy. Adrian said they say his parties were a slippery slope. Okay, well, we're going to table this for tonight. We will pick this up as it continues to develop. But I'm wondering, has this ever happened to anybody?
Hold on. His son, though, I don't know which. What's his son? Is it Christian? Is his son? What's his son?
He has two sons, right?
He has. And they may be facing charges as well. They have some accusations against them.
Which is so sad. They're so young.
Oh my God! That one boy looked just like Puffy, man.
Yeah.
And allegedly acts just like him too.
as a parent, I might get into some stuff, but I'm not gonna jeopardize my kid.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Adrian, I want you to do me a favor, baby. Hit that button and say log off.
We moving from this subject because the Saints is acting up. We'll talk more about it next week as it develops. I'm curious.
Keep watching. We just go block it.
You guys have you ever said in your mind when you go to church that you were going to give a certain amount and then made a mistake and gave something else? Well, this lady
I'm so pissed off right now. I am speeding back to the church. When I went to church, I had $100 bill and a $10 bill. I already had it in my mind to give the $10 bill. I pulls up the church's chicken. The lady said my order was $14 and something. I go in my purse to pull out the $100 bill. I done fooled around and put the $100 bill in the offering. I sped away from the drive-thru window. I told the pastor I made a mistake, put the wrong bill. He gonna say, Sister Tasha, you can't take back from the church. I said, Pastor, that is all the money that I have. I intended on putting $10 in the church. He gonna say, we in the middle of a meeting and we can't do nothing about that, Sister Tasha. You can't take back from the church. Now you want to rob the church? I better go to jail. I'm on my way back to the church. Give me my $100. The pastor keep playing with me.
Okay.
Give her her $100. She got to get back and get that chicken.
Listen, that has happened. That has happened to me before, but guess what? If you put it in there, listen, it must have been meant for you to sow that seed and step out on faith. How you gonna call the church back like, oh,
not her. She was getting.
But you know what? I've done that also, but I went right to the trustees said I need change. Give me $80 back.
But that's if you just need change, not if you made a mistake.
Yeah, I did make a mistake.
Oh,
I was gonna, so I said, look, I made a mistake. I put $100 in there. I'm gonna need $80 back.
If her name was on the envelope, they need to get that lady, give her the $100 and be done. It's not worth her coming up there causing no confusion and going to jail.
I agree.
Yeah. Give her. And somebody just loaned her $80. Period and poop.
Please, because she tight. It's tight.
He talking about you can't take back from the church.
Get that lady her money back.
Please and thank you. Well, guys, some people may think that this is discrimination. When one lady was trying to make it to the airport, she was in a hurry, but didn't realize that the vehicle that she was calling for a Uber ride may not fit her.
I know that.
Okay, put the bag in the front. I can fit back here.
Everything will be out of balance now. Please, no. They see all the things is big now.
I can fit. We're gonna make it work.
We can't. Sorry, we can't. It's not because I just changed my tire. My suspension. I just changed it last week.
But I'm late for my flight.
I get that.
We have to go.
These small cars, their sensor. Once anything is out of whack, the sensor will start going up. I know my car. No, let me. I know that.
Okay, put the bag in the front. I can fit back here.
Ma'am.
Man,
we ain't giving you no ride. Go on back in the house.
But the only thing about that though is that's scripted. If it was unscripted, then I feel like it would be hilarious. But that boy,
he said, "I just changed my tire."
He got the wrong car to be Ubering in. Period. Go on somewhere.
How about that? Right, you can't get more than one person in that car.
Right, beat it.
Lord have mercy.
He's hilarious though.
Yeah. All right, we're moving.
Investigators say ex-NFL player Goster Sherilis relieved himself onto an elderly woman forcing the plane back to Logan Airport.
I glanced up at him. I thought at first he was just going to expose himself, and then he pulled out his penis and he started to urinate.
He appeared in court facing multiple charges, including disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
He fully emptied his bladder on me.
In response to the accusations, Sherrillis posted this on Instagram, saying in part, quote, "I took a sleeping medication that I don't normally use, which resulted in behavior that is not representative of my character, and I would like to apologize to the passengers and flight crew."
Now listen, hold on. But why did it seem like she was okay when she thought he was just going to expose herself? Well, at first I thought he was just going to expose herself. So he pulled out his penis. I'm like, wait a minute. She was okay with that part.
Look, she was trying to see something. She just didn't want all that. Now that's just...
Baby, I'd have zipped this thing up in that, okay?
I would have walked him up with my suitcase on top of his head. If you don't get on somewhere,
baby,
ain't no sleeping pill made you do that.
Ain't no. You're not taking a brand new sleeping pill when you're getting on a plane on a flight. Okay, you were drunk.
He was drunk.
That's what it
was. You were drunk. Period.
And did she just sit there like, lady, why didn't you get out the way? Once you figured out what it was,
felt like it was exotic. She thought it was exotic.
Well, honestly, I mean, if you're sitting in your seat, where you gonna go? You're gonna kind of jump around.
In the aisle, I'm calling the stewardess.
I wish they would have caught it on camera, because what was she doing sitting there like, woo?
Probably, because at first you're shocked. And then, you know what I'm saying? And he's big. He's blocking the aisle. He a big fella. But I'm telling you right now, baby, I'd have windmilled on him like it wasn't even funny. Get up. You taking this.
Well, this next story is not as funny, you guys. A couple and their brand new baby moved into an apartment, and they had a beyond nosy neighbor. Watch this.
You are watching what cops say is a terrible crime committed by a brilliant chemist. First, he's seen filling a syringe with some sort of substance. Then he places the syringe under an apartment door. What was your reaction when you saw your neighbor injecting this substance into your home? Umar Abdullah and his wife had just had a baby. Almost immediately, they say, their downstairs neighbor, then a PhD student in chemistry, began complaining about noise. That's him skulking outside the apartment in Tampa.
After my daughter was born, right after we came back from hospital, he started complaining.
Then the family began smelling chemicals pervading the apartment. Everyone, including the baby, started getting sick.
She used to cough, and subsequently she used to vomit.
Air conditioning ducts were cleaned, plumbers checked all the pipes leading to the apartment, and the landlord even replaced the water heater. But the noxious fumes became overwhelming, and that's when the new dad decided to install a hidden camera. At first, the surveillance video caught just a glimpse of the suspect. The next day, when the camera was repositioned, this happened, and the terrifying truth came out. Initial toxicology reports from police say the substance being pumped into their apartment consists of 2 strong opioids, methadone and hydrocodone. The suspect is identified as Shu-Ming Lee.
What? Is it not crazy?
Crazy.
That's terrible. He was trying to kill them people.
All because they baby was
on the low.
Well, I mean, he needed his sleep. He needs to buy him a house.
I think he was really just trying to get them to move. Like he was trying to make them so sick and uncomfortable, so they're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here." But that's
He's
insane.
nuts, bro. That's nuts. Yes.
That's crazy. That's just too crazy.
I'm glad that they thought to put that camera out there to see what was going on. Because otherwise, it could have killed them. Or that baby, especially a brand new baby, taking in those type of fumes.
Yeah.
The wickedness, bro.
That's awful.
I'm going to tell you what's awful, and I'm going to put it twice so you can really see it, because I love going to the movies. But the lawsuit that I would have if this happened while I was watching my movie. Oh, no. It would be called Ryan Todd Theater when I got through.
What happened?
If you survive.
Right. That part. The ceiling collapsed on them.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That looked
Yeah,
like a bunch of
some
stuff
type of
damage.
plumbing leak. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a pipe burst, like a big pipe or something must have
Because
burst,
all that water.
and that water was too heavy for
And
the
just
ceiling
came
to.
on down. Water can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time.
Oh yeah. No reports of death, Kevin. Thank God.
Oh, that's terrible.
All right. Well, we have
That's
time for our
wild.
question. That is wild. All right, let's see what Miss Tracy has for us tonight.
It's me, Tracy. Now I got a question, y'all. Because my husband always on my case, because I have big breasts. And he be like, oh no, you not gonna buy the house with that low cut shirt. I can slide a credit card. And I'm like, boy, ain't nobody looking at my breasts. But I try to, be good about not wearing anything that's real revealing. But depending on how to dress or the shirt, the blouse. Because I don't wear shirts. I'm real chic. So I wear blouses. So depending on how the blouse is made, sometimes I can't help but show a little tit. But my thing is, I saw him going out to the store the other day, and he had on some gray sweatpants. And honey, that thing was swinging like a windshield wiper. Now I'm going to tell you, my husband is blessed in the city and blessed in the field. Okay? And we thank God for that. What do Tabitha Brown say? God, we thank you. Okay? Because and I'm used to it because I've been dealing with it for 10 years. But the thing is, I'm trying to tell him he needs to strap that thing up. And he like, girl, ain't nobody looking at that but you. And I said, well, do you have on any underwear? And he like, yeah, I have on my boxers. And I'm like, them boxers is too thin. And not only that, they had that little opening, and Peter been slipped out, and that's why that thing be just hanging and flopping. Hey, girl.
I'm sorry.
So this is my question, my sweet babies, because I told that boy, I'm like, boo-boo, that's not appropriate. You worried about my breasts, but you got all that hanging out. So if you can't wear, no boxer brief that can kind of conceal a little better, then you shouldn't be wearing them sweatpants. What y'all?
Okay.
Get your girl, Josh.
This is Tracy may be keying to P. Diddy. Boxers offer no support. That's very true. I wouldn't personally wear boxers with no sweatpants. Unless you just trying to give a show. Exact, both inappropriate. Sweatpants with boxers inappropriate. Your breasts hanging out inappropriate. So we got to deal with that too. Because even if the shirt is low cut, that's why they make safety pins, brooches, and all kind of stuff to make sure if your cleavage just ain't out, unless that's what you purposely trying to do.
But
So
Tracy and the man need to sit down and have a conversation because y'all should have solved this a long time ago. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, after 10 years, I shouldn't still be worried about wardrobe, like what we wear.
I think they both like attention.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Well, my issue with Tracy though is What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Don't always be trying to call your husband out on stuff and try to like sweep your little issue. Like, well, you know,
You trying to
maybe the
show
way
your
it's
tit.
made. Well, maybe it's the way the sweatpants is made. You know, because I don't care what kind of sweatpants, track pants, you know, men wear. If you really staring hard enough, you might see a print. Well, I guess you wanted to see it, so God bless. That's your reward. But at the end of the day, you know, again, you got to be mindful of how you dress too. You're not the only person in the world with big breasts, but they can be covered. It's really simple.
Yep.
And so don't get into excuse my language, but a pissing contest. That's really bad for me to say, but that's what it is with your
But don't
husband.
go tit for tat with your husband. And
Right.
especially like have some class for yourself. It got nothing to do with your husband. Just have
Right,
class.
as a married
You're
woman.
too classy with
Got
your
it.
black car and your Cadillac Escalade and your 6-figure job. Come on now.
Yeah, no, because and when you already got a husband, what are you trying to show off your breast for anyway?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Right.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. If it's okay with your husband, and maybe you have on something that shows a little cleavage, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Because see, a lot of times people think that saved folks can't be sexy. I'm not saying that, but don't get
But
on
be
your
sexy for
husband
your
for what he
husband.
wearing. Right, be sexy for your husband, but don't get on him for what he wearing, and then you out, you know, hot to try.
Right. Yep.
Tracy,
Around
you
time,
and
your
husband
beard
just
is
stay in
bearded.
the-
My beard is.
Yes.
Yes, your beard is bearded today, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I want Tracy and her husband just stay in the house and quit bothering the general public. Y'all just both do too much. Work from
Too
home, get
much.
y'all groceries delivered, get Uber Eats, everything. Just
Mel,
stay inside.
Mel, not the general public.
But I agree with Kevin Moore. Boxers offer no support. I don't, you know, some people like boxers. I'm not really sure why. Maybe they're more comfortable to them. I never like how they feel. They kind of make me itch. But they don't offer a lot of support. So boxers and sweatpants and basketball shorts, that really don't mix unless you're just trying to expose yourself. I am of the thought that some people know exactly what they're doing
What they doing?
when they wear certain things and they are exposed. You know good and well if you're wearing sweatpants, that's not the day to go commando.
Okay, enough of this.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was
No,
a lot.
seriously.
It's
This was
just
a lot.
too
This
much.
was a lot to digest.
Tracy
Well,
them and the 1,000 bottles of baby
I
oil and
mean,
KY
man.
jelly.
I
It's just,
mean, I
it's
feel
too
you.
much.
It's a lot. It's a whole lot.
Whew. Well, I hope we have helped people. Y'all, we're gonna have to stay tuned. I believe tomorrow we'll find out if P. Diddy will have to stay in jail. I love the way one of the prosecutors, you could tell she old school. She kept saying Puff Daddy. We're gonna see Puff Daddy. I'm like, she's not calling him Sean. She Puff Daddy. He puffed to her. Kevin
Yep.
said people will still notice that you're big breasted even if they're covered, and people might notice that your hubby is still well endowed even if he's wearing supportive undergarments.
correct.
Stay in the house, people. Just everybody stay in as much.
Right, Pastor Greg, a freak off. Well, on that note, we are at the end of the show. Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, this was
But
fun.
thank y'all so much as always. This was a good show. I told y'all it was gonna be good.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see how this is gonna go with P. Diddy. I do want to see how it turns out and how true all of this evidence is. But in the meantime, guys, don't forget, tell everybody, especially your young people, your college students, vote, 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 vote. Somebody said, well, I don't think it's right that you always say vote for Harris. It's my right to say whatever I want to say.
Okay.
I'm with her.
She the
Period.
only one running. We don't even acknowledge the other person. She the only one running.
You shouldn't mix religion with politics. I'm not. Ron is telling you to be with her. There you go.
Yep.
Praise his high holy name. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. We love you for free. We'll see you next week right
See
here on.
y'all.
God bless.